Okay. So yesterday, so we discussed about what is any and what is all operators, and we said any operator, okay, it may be returns true if any one value is satisfied with the given conditional value. So how it was checking means the group of values, whatever it was there, each and every value will be checked. And out of this list of values, if any one value will be satisfied for the given conditional value, then it returns what now? True. If all are false, then only false. If any one true, then it will be true. Okay. So that is any operator. Same as come to all. All operator means what now? It returns true if all values are satisfied with the given conditional value in the list. So now here all means each and every value should be satisfied. So in the list, how many values are there? That every value will be checked and satisfied with given conditional value. Then it will be returns true. If any one is false, then false. Okay, no? These are all and any. Now write down one example on this. So write a query to display employees whose salary is more than any salesman salary. Whose salary is more than any salesman salary. Okay, right. So now come out and see your database now. Okay, come to your table. So this is my table information, and your salesmen are there here to check it out. The first I want to take my salesman salaries here. I want to retry. Okay, now. So how many salesmen we have? 4 salesmen. Okay. The one salesman salary is 1600, 1250, and one more 1250, and one more 1500. Okay. So first my inner query in this, what I want to take? Salaries. So salaries from EMP. Which person's salary? The job is equals to salesman. So salesman salary first I have to retry. And now we can see your inner query returns more than one value. So then it is called as a multiple row subqueries. Okay, now, now in this group of values, now later I want to check each and every employee salary. And suppose if any one person's salary, which is more than any one salesman's salary, then it will returns true, otherwise false. For example, I'm writing my query. Select star from EMP where salary which is greater than of any of inner query. What it is here, this is my inner query. So now inner query values are how much here? 1600, 1250, 1250 and 1500. Okay, now so now these are the group of values. And what I want to check here, every employee salary I want to check. So in my table total, how many employees? 14. Who is the first employee here? 800. So 800, I want to check it out here. Okay. So 800. 800. So 800 is greater than any. Yes or no? Now compare now each and every value. So 800 is greater than 1600. True or false? False. 800 is greater than 1250. False. 800 is greater than 1250. False. 800 is greater than 1500. False. All are false. That means this 800 returns true or false? False. Because any operator, what we are expected, if any one value will be satisfied in the given list, then it returns true. But your problem is what now? All are false. So 800 will never return for us. Okay. Now, next value you can check. What is the next value? 1600. Come back here. The same as 1600 also. Check it out. 1600 greater than any of. Okay. Now compare here. 1600 is greater than 1600. False. 1600 is greater than 1250. True. False. Okay. Next. 1600 is greater than 1250. True. 1600 is greater than 1500. True. So how many values true? 3 values. But any operator, what it was expect? Any one. But here we have a 3. So that means this value returns true. Yes, this value returns true. That means 1600 value data will get it. Okay. And like this, okay, each and every value want to check. Understand now? Understand now? How to check each and every employee value? Check with your condition. Okay. And in this, if anybody or any which employee salary was satisfied, so those people data will get. Where job is equals to salesman. Okay, right. And now like this, how many people satisfied? 9 employees. So these are the 9 people, and the salaries, if you check it out here, so every employee is more than of any one of this salary. Okay, now, so right down below. And the same as next example, to display employees whose salary is more than all salesman salaries. Okay, so then which operator I want to use? All operators. Okay, now. So all operators same as this. We'll check, but all operator means each and every value should be true. Then only true. And now, like how many people we have here means there is 6 people. So 6 people salaries you can check out. Okay, these salaries are more than your salesman's. Okay, 1600, 1250, 1500. So all are satisfied here. All are satisfied. Huh? Yes, the salaries are more than all salesman salaries. Okay, now this is any and all operators. Right on. Okay, now, so in this only you can use if you want it greater than or equals to, you can use greater than, or you want to use less than, you can use less than or equals to, or else equals to. Yes or no? Just operators are change and remaining will be same. Okay, so that examples I was given in the document, practice it. Okay, now, right. And the next text heading, multiple column subquery. Okay, so previous all single row and multiple row. Can you find out here in your outer query? This is we know outer query. Outer query where conditional column, I'm using single column. And the single column values are comparing with the single column of inner query. Okay, so a single column values of inner query comparing with a single column values of outer queries. Like any example you can see. If you see all examples, so outer query where condition, higher date, single column, inner query, higher date, single column. Like here also, where condition salary, single column, inner query, salary, single column. Like you can see here also. So condition, single column, here also, single column. Like you can see, where job, single column, here also, single column. So that means every one column value of inner queries comparing with the one column values of outer. So these are the single row and multiple row mechanisms. But now multiple column subqueries in this only. Here we are comparing not only one column, we are comparing what now? Multiple columns values. So whenever you want to compare multiple columns values of inner query with the multiple columns values of outer query, then we called as a multiple column subqueries. Understand now? As of now, single column comparisons are we done. But now by the help of multiple column subquery, we can comparing more than one column values. Understand now? So that kind of mechanism is called as a multiple column subqueries. Okay, write down. So what you want to say? Comparing multiple columns values of inner query with the multiple columns values of outer query. Values of outer query is called as MCSQ. Okay. So now I want to take my syntax here for this. Select star from table name, and here where of, and here I'm passing multiple columns, column 1, column number 2, and so on, and in operator, and we are writing some inner query. So select a star from so and so. And here I want to take here, so same number of columns here also, column 1 comma column 2. Okay, and now take below examples. Write a query to display employees whose job comma MGR is same as the job comma MGR of the employee Scott. Okay, so in this example, I want to compare here two columns. Now I'm comparing job and MGR. Okay, so now we can see the which employee job comma MGR is same as the job comma MGR of which employee? Scott. So like this, is there any employee was there in the table? First you need to check it out. Okay, and now the Scott employee job is analyst and manager number MGR is a 7566. Is there anybody is there? Who is that? Fraud. So fraud job and MGR same as your Scott. Okay now? Then how we can write? First inner query I'm writing. Inner query what I wanted here, job comma MGR, multiple columns from EMP, where E name is equals to who is this? Scott. And now we can see your inner query returns the value single column or multiple columns. Multiple columns. So your inner query values are written multiple columns. First one, job column. Second one, MGR column. So inner query written values are how many columns values? Two columns values. So with this two columns values, whatever it was written by inner query, these two values I want to compare with the same columns values of outer query. Understand now? Then how we can write now? So select star from EMP where suppose you can see I'm using job and in of inner query is what now? Job comma MGR from EMP where E name is equals to what now? Scott. And now carefully observe your outer query where conditional column. How many columns? One column. So outer query where condition one column. Inner query how many columns? Two columns. Is it matching? No. If it is not matching and you try to execute this one, it was showing what? Too many values. Because your inner query returns too many values. Too many values means more than one column values. So you can't compare like this. Then what we want to do? You have to take two columns here also. How to take? Open bracket is compulsory. Okay. Job, comma, what is this? MGR. It's a compulsory to open and closing your brackets. Okay. Now select the job, comma, from. Okay. And then I have to take from EMP where E name is equals to Scott. Then what it was happening, you can see my outer query where condition, how many columns? Two columns. Inner query, two columns. So two columns, both are matching. So then it will go to give it your answer. So who was like this here means fraud. The fraud job analyst matching, the MGR also matching. Okay, now right now. And the same as write a query to display employees whose employee or whose MGR comma salary is same as the MGR comma salary of the employee ward. Okay, so now here also multiple columns, you can check it out. So how to write now? Select a star from EMP where MGR comma salary, and in operator of select same MGR comma salary from EMP where rename is equals to what? So like this here, the same MGR, okay, same salary was having here the Martin along with the what? Okay, so these are multiple columns comparisons of inner and outer. And the next write on here, exciting pseudo columns. Okay, so what is pseudo columns and how these columns are working in our subqueries? Okay, no, and the purpose of pseudo columns, how to use. So here, pseudo columns also just like your table columns. How my table columns we have it here. Okay, how you have a table columns. Okay, we are using, okay, storing some data, and based on where conditional this column values are we are taking to comparing purpose. So how you did these columns and columns data, how we are using to comparing levels, condition levels, how we are using same as pseudo columns also working just like your table columns. Okay, how table columns I'm using under where class condition. Okay, under where class condition retrieval data purpose, yes or no, how we are using same as your pseudo columns also. Okay, now, and these are two types, guys. Okay, now first one is called as here row id pseudo column, and second one is called as here row num. Okay, so these are the two types of pseudo columns we are using specially under subqueries. Especially we are using under subqueries. And what is the purpose of row id, and where you want to use row id, and what is the purpose of row num? Okay, now let me discuss right down below. So pseudo columns are working just like table columns, working just like table columns. And in this first one we take row id. Okay, so what is row id pseudo column, and in this column which kind of data will be saved? Means here observe, for example, are you designing or creating one new table now? Okay, now suppose are you created one new table. with few columns X, Y, some Z. And this is one of my table test. Okay, after created a new table, then later we need to insert some data into this table. So whenever user inserting data, automatically row will be formed. Okay, for example, now we are inserting some data into this table. Okay, by using some insert query. Whenever you inserted something, I inserted here, for example, A, B, and C. And whenever you inserted data into table, then only your row is created. Yes or no? Yes or no? So row is created. So when a row is created, it means that internally for this row purpose, your system is created one unique identification number or address will be created. So what is that here? Unique identification of address is created. Address is created by your system automatically. So like how many number of rows are you inserted, that each and every row wise a unique identification address was created. Okay now, and these unique identification address, for example, for this I'm taking now something, okay, AA. Okay, so this is unique address. Suppose are you inserted second row, then second row here, suppose Q R S, and second row is created. For the second row purpose also, your unique identification is created, that QAB. Okay. And now you inserted another row. Okay. So MNO. Then for this row purpose also, it was created some row ID, the QAC. So like this, each and every row wise, okay, your system is internally created row identification address. And these row identification addresses are saved under which column? Under which column? Row ID column. It will be saved. Got it my point now? So, and these are the saving into which column? Row ID column. Okay. And these row IDs, whenever user want to see it, user want to view it, then I want to use which column? Row ID. So with the help of row ID pseudo column, I can see my row identification addresses. Okay. And now these row IDs, whatever the system is generated at the time of user inserting the data, at the time of user inserting the data, these IDs are saved under database memories. Like this, it will be, this is your table, and table related row IDs also saved. So that is the reason these row IDs are called as a permanent IDs we called. It's not a temporary. These are what now? Permanent IDs. Why? Because along with your table data, it will be storing your row ID also. Okay. So that is the reason these row IDs are whatever it was generated by system at the time of row insertion, that IDs are will be permanent IDs. That IDs cannot change. Understand? Na? This is the purpose of your row ID. But in real time, that means when you're working in real time applications, how I can use this row ID? Okay, na? Let me write. When we insert a new row into a table, internally system is creating a unique row identification address. internally system is creating a unique row identification address for for each row wise. Okay, for each row wise on a table, on a table automatically, on a table automatically. Next, these row IDs are saved in database, database memory, so that these are these are permanent, these are permanent IDs. Okay, now we can see how I can see this row IDs on my table. Observe. For example, this is already, we have a table along with some rows. So now this is one of our table. Okay. In this table, we insert a total how many rows? 14 rows. So that means at the time of insertion of each and every row, your system already created your unique identification address. And those things I have to see. Now, how I can use row ID, comma, e name from EMP table. And now we can see for each and every row wise, your row IDs are having here. Got it? Yes. And every row ID, last three characters you can see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. So total 14 rows in my table. The 14 unique identification addresses are created. And these addresses, when you want to see, compulsory which column? Row ID, pseudo column, compulsory, we should required when I want to see my row IDs. Okay. And now these row IDs are temporary or permanent. Suppose you have a doubt, then you can call row ID, e-name and department number from EMP, where department number is equals to 10. And 10th department, how many employees we have here? 3 employees. And 3 employees names are Clerk, King and Miller. So now